I used to work 24 hours for 3 days, and some of the time they left me for the whole week and never sent me a replacement. So, and then I just get paid for 12 hours, so it's not fair. We gonna be working 24 hours and we just gonna to receive 12 hours. This is abuse of those people, and it's time to stop this robbery for the salary for the whole home worker. So thank you so much, and stop this abuse. Shame on you, CPS.
Gracias.
CPC, shame on you!
CPC!
CPC,
Shame on you!
CPC,
Shame on you!
CPC,
Shame on you! Shame on you! Shame on you! CPC! Shame on you! CPC! Shame on you! CPC! Shame on you! We're here also with workers of all trades.
So let's support the CBC workers. Workers across the trades are supporting the CBC workers. Let's give them a applause. Okay, so in case they don't know, we're going to sound the alarm again. For the Pinkies, for perpetrator violence. Stop the racial violence, CBC!
Stop the racial violence, CBC!
Okay.
And if you don't CPC, we boycott! Boycott CPC! Boycott CPC! Boycott! 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 All city heroes! Boycott CPC! Boycott CPC!
Boycott!
CPC! Boycott! CPC! Boycott! CPC! Boycott! CPC! Boycott! CPC! Boycott! CPC! Boycott! CPC! Boycott! CPC! Boycott! CPC! Boycott! CPC! Today we have workers of all trades, of all races, all genders coming to support CPC workers' demands. And we're going to start with DSA Labor Bridge. Welcome, Bob.
Good morning, folks. Today, brothers and sisters, we stand here today in solidarity with a special group of workers, home care attendants, some of whom are here with us, and many more are working, taking care of New York's most vulnerable, giving them respect and dignity. And again, we add our voices to the chorus that calls for justice. We need and we will raise our voices louder than those who excuse, who mislead, who cover up, and who lie about this abuse. Today, we stand in front of their most egregious employer, the Chinese Planning Council. They have set the pattern in the industry for the 24-hour shift. This is responsible. It was the CBC that their mission, their stated mission, is to serve the Chinese community, to serve the low-income community, to serve the undocumented, to serve those most in need. They, as a nonprofit, accept tens of millions of dollars. They have a budget of $170 million. We ask them today to simply do no harm. We demand they stop stealing our sisters' wages. Pay the stolen back wages. Stop forcing workers to work a 24-hour day and then stealing 11 hours. 24 hours of work for 13 hours of pay. They have no shame. No shame. And disgracefully, this is New York State law. But Wayne Ho, you know who Wayne Ho is?
Yeah, right there.
Right there. He's the CEO of the Chinese Planning Council. Okay, Wayne Ho, everybody knows, we know and you know that it's wrong to steal. It's wrong. Everybody knows that it's a moral outrage to force a human being to work a 24-hour shift. And you know the cost to their health and their families. Wayne Ho, it's wrong. So Wayne Ho must go. Wayne Ho must go.
Wayne Ho must go. Wayne Ho must go.
But I have a question. I have a question for you. Does anybody know who was the CEO before Wayne?
Jenny Lowe.
Jenny Lowe! Jenny Lowe actually was at Morgan Stanley, and she was dividing money, $200 million, okay, to different nonprofits. Before she was here, from 2014 to 2018. But I'm not picking on Jenny Lowe. I bring her up because I got a letter from her, and some of you did too. She asked if she could represent us.
No.
She's running for city council.
Oh.
Jenny Lowe,
We say no.
Okay. Just one more thing.
Only good thing for her is some Chinese blood. This Jenny Lowe.
Everyone knows that shamefully in our society, run by capital and landlords, that women, and especially women of color, and especially the undocumented, and the most poor among us, are the most abused. And very often, in New York State, they get their wages stolen, and in many cases, their dignity. That says that they are against sexism, racism, and immigrant bias. Let me just wrap up.
Hey, what's up?
I have so many pages that I I'm not good at this stuff, and my vision is not good either. Special women. Solidarity means an injury to one is an injury to all. And in the labor movement, that means empathy, but it also recognizes this is everyone's fight. We stand and fight for our sisters, we fight for ourselves, we fight for our class. Solidarity. Hasta la victoria.
Thank you, Bob. Next we have Mahir Rahman from Youth Against Sweatshop.
Let's all join together and say, no more 24.
No more 24!
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 Boycott CPC!
Boycott CPC!
Boycott CPC!
Boycott CPC!
Say no to Jenny Lowe!
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 Yeah, good morning everyone. So, I'm here with Ron. I'm a college student. And big shout out to Youth Against Sweatshops for introducing me. We actually, so in the past I've actually worked under CPC based with SYEC programs for high school students. They have basically like a program where you go into it, and for people who are age 16 to 18 and even older, they just give them jobs that don't really mean anything. Don't really teach them about the ways in which that they can organize and learn more about the class divide in Chinatown. I had to be with Youth Against Sweatshops in order to learn more about that issue. So it's very important that we understand that workers from all trades and occupations, they're united with in this movement to bring justice for the home attendant workers. The most important thing that I want all of you to get out of what I'll be saying at this moment is that this movement transcends beyond cultures, beyond education levels, beyond the kind of jobs that we're in. What CPC is scared of, what they're scared of is to know how big our movement is to get the 24-hour workday out. It's the fact that the working class in Chinatown and in the Lower East Side is very much united to end the 24-hour workday. And if we do unite, if we get enough people behind this movement, there's nothing that will stop us. For decades, CPC has tried to sell their image of a social organization that benefits the community. They've been doing it for roughly 50 to 60 years. But in fact, they've been founded as a corporation by design and development. I was a high school student, and like so many others who can attest to it, I was put to work in the city SYEC program with CPC, where the job was like menial work or just some paperwork. But the CPC works with the city to contract out jobs that appeal to the 16 to 18-year-olds as a means, they'll take it as a means of supporting their low-income family, but it's exploitation at best. If I get into the medical field and make it through the schooling, I'm going to eventually have to attend to patients 24 hours and little to no rest. It sounds familiar because the home care attendants are going through the same struggle. And I believe that it's high time that we all unite to try to bring an end to this system of oppression that is sustained by CPC. CPC likes to hide behind identity politics. They like to endorse people like Jenny Lowe. They like to use identity as a wedge to divide the working class in this community. They like to sit. Shame! Yeah. Shame on you, CPC. Shame! Yeah. So they like to do that, and it's a big major problem because the workers here, they're left out. All the workers here, they get left out. Their stories of not all the time like known about it, you know, and it becomes a situation where we're all lumped together in Chinatown, and unfortunately that has to end. So we have to unite as a community, and we have to use it as much by any means necessary to force CPC to end the 24-hour workday, and it's well within their power to definitely act as a better steward for the community here and for the workers. Their struggle, what they have to go through is something that the CPC leadership, they can never even imagine about that. They say in their office, all they know how to do is roll up the grants. More grants, that's all they know how to do. Yeah, so overall, there's a lot of hope. We're going to have real unity, and hopefully the 24-hour workday is going to end. So I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you, Mahir. Thank you, Youth Against Sweatshops. Now we have a lot more organizations, groups who are here to support, but we'll kind of prioritize the elected officials, the candidates and elected officials who have supported the CPC workers' call. Shout out to Ron Kim, who signed the pledge with Workers First. Thank you, Ron Kim, who's not unfortunately not be able to attend with us today, but he has taken a brave stand against CPC. So next we have Chris Marte, candidate for District 1.
Let's go, everyone. No more 24.
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 In 2017, I stood with these home care workers on the corner of Madison and Rutgers, demanding our representatives to listen to them. And what did we hear? Silence. In 2018, we went to the press, got stories written up about the damage that was happening to these moms, to these sisters, to these grandmas. And what did we hear? Silence. In 2019 and 2020, we stood outside of their union, demanding for better protection, for them to be highlighted as heroes and individuals. And what did we hear?
Silence!
Silence. In the middle of the pandemic, when these frontline essential workers were giving napkins as masks, when they were still working 24 hours, what did we hear?
Silence!
And so we're here today, calling for an end of the 24-hour work week. And we finally got some notice. We finally got recognition that says the 24-hour work week should be abolished.
Too late!
24-hour work day. What work day, sir? But that's not enough. What about the decades that these women have gone through? Sacrificing their bodies, sacrificing their families, sacrificing their financial stability to take care of the most vulnerable population in our cities.
Pay them back!
I'm here today not only as a candidate, but my mom is a home care worker. She used to commute from the Lower East Side to Parkchester every single day. And when her senior that she was taking care of wasn't doing so well, she had to work 24-hour shifts. Sometimes 36-hour shifts. Sometimes I wouldn't see my mom for a week. So these are not the only people you're hurting. You're hurting generations of children, of families. And so we can't take this little symbolic, oh yeah, let's abolish the 24-hour work week, without recognizing the damage you have caused, the harm you have caused. And so we're asking you guys to pay them back.
Pay them back! Now!
Pay them back!
Pay them back!
Pay them back! Pay them back!
No more 24! No more 24!
No more 24!
No more 24!
No more 24!
No more 24!
No more 24!
There's no price you can put to people dying because of their working conditions, to the sacrifices in education and health care of their family. We owe these women everything. We owe the women who can't be here today everything. And so we're just not asking to pay them back, but give them everything that they demand. So let's go! No more 24!
No more 24!
Democrat, and today I couldn't be prouder to be standing with you in solidarity in calling out the Chinese American Planning Council for their inhumane labor practices. Our home care workers have kept the country running on the front lines of the pandemic to take care of our most vulnerable members of our communities. They are heroes. You are heroes who deserve the decency of sleep and the dignity of fair pay. I stand with our Chinese and immigrant workers in demanding that the Chinese American Planning Council put an end to the 24-hour shifts and that they immediately put an end to it, exactly, and that they immediately pay back their stolen wages. CPC, you set the industry standard. This should not be a race to the bottom. My husband and daughter are both Asian, and I worry about their safety given the rise of anti-Asian hate crimes. But racial violence isn't limited to physical violence, and this is economic violence. This is exploitation of the labor of immigrants and people of color. If we're serious about being better allies to our Asian friends and neighbors, then we must use all of our voices to call out injustice when we see it, no matter who is doing it. I'm honored to be here to show my support for these workers, and I want you to know that I will always stand with you. I will stand with delivery drivers who are denied a place to use the restroom. I will stand with you against the mayor and all those who are seeking to build a mega jail in Chinatown. And I stand with you today proudly in demanding fair pay and humane working conditions for our home care workers. Thank you, heroes.
That's done to the most vulnerable Asian people in our community, to line their pockets, to ask for donations, to say that they stand with the community. We also know that Asian women who work in the most vulnerable low-wage labor, who do domestic labor, care work, are the people who are subjected to the most violence. They have said up and down that they are against anti-Asian violence. After everything that has happened, they say that they're for the community, and yet they continue to exploit workers. They make millions every year off of all of these workers and more. And they continue to refuse to pay them. They say that they cannot do it. They say that the government has to do it. They are lying. They have the money and they can pay it. They will use people who are more similar to these workers to say that we should be against anti-Asian violence. The deaths and the violence against people who are more similar to home care workers than they are to them, to continue to line their pockets. So what we have to say is, CPC needs to pay them, needs to treat workers with dignity. All workers deserve dignity, no matter what industry you're in, whether you are a home care worker, whether you're a massage worker, whether you're a salon worker, no matter what job you do, all workers deserve labor rights.
Hey, those are all basic. Those are all basic. I don't care if you're a prostitute. You deserve to be able to do that and make money, because guess what? I've been blessed with Jesus.
Also true. Sex workers also deserve labor rights. We know that the people who do this labor are the people who are subjected to the most violence. And yet, they also face violence from their employers, from the government, from the people who refuse to pay them. Certain electeds will tell you that they cannot do this, that CPC can't pay them, that CPC can't apologize for what they did because they had to do it. They are lying to you. They can pay you. They have millions. Jenny Lowe made millions off of these workers.
I'm here on behalf of the Asian American Feminist Collective, and we're here to say that we stand with home care workers. We do not stand with $million-dollar nonprofits who claim that they cannot take accountability because it's the state's fault. Shame! Shame! I also want to pose the question, why is it that CPC staff members can make hundreds of thousands of dollars in salary a year, and yet they cannot pay their workers a minimum wage living? Just because you wear suits to work or you have a certain level of education does not make you better than or worth more than any of these people. Shame! I want to keep it short because I know everyone has so much to say. But I also just want to pose the question of why is it that there are so many people in the Asian American organizing community who have been so quick to come up and support, defend, and just say, poor CPC, they don't deserve this. This is not about intra-Asian conflict. This is not about Asian people coming after their own. This is about protection. This is about mutual aid and actually caring about the safety of our elders. If you really say that your hands are tied and you cannot do anything within the system, maybe you should consider going around the system or outside of the system. Maybe the system needs to be dismantled then. If this system that you have put in place is actually actively exploiting the people that you claim to help, maybe we need to question that. Why is that? Why is it that this lawsuit has been going on for 6 years? Lawyers have been paid hundreds an hour in order to protect CPC, and yet they cannot even do the basic level of protecting their own workers. For home care workers, for domestic workers, for sex workers, for everyone who is working class. However, how many people are not here who need to be here? So many people will come to an arts gathering or some anti-Asian hate crime rally led by celebrities, but they won't come here, okay? They're not actually down to protect and serve our vulnerable communities, the people who are victims to anti-Asian violence. Then what's the point? What's the point of all this progressive politics? What are we doing? I don't know, I'm sorry. I'm keeping it short because I am just so frustrated and exhausted. I'm also incredibly nervous being here in the presence of CPC staff. It makes it really difficult to talk about this. Shame on you! He's right there. I just want to say, if you're making that much money, redistribute your money. Do whatever the fuck you can because you're not doing it. All right, thank you so much for everyone. I'm passing it back.
And the 24!
And the 24!
And the 24!
And the 24!
Pay back the stolen wage!
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 I want to do a little introduction of myself. I was an Uber driver, and then I became the union organizers. Through our protests, through our rally, through our hearing at the city councils, we secure minimum pay for Uber drivers. We secured 300,000 black car drivers in New York State of portable benefits. It's a consistent fight, right? It's a consistent fight that we need to bring the 21st century labor movement to the city council, to the state assembly, and to state senate. We must make sure that no one is discriminated because of their race, because of their gender, because how they look like and their language abilities. And therefore, we are coming here to demand CPC to pay back the stolen wage. Are we afraid? Are we afraid? No. Are we afraid? No. Are we afraid? No. Are we ready to fight? Yes. Are we ready to fight? Yes. Let's fight back and let's guarantee our grandma, grandpas, and whoever, have worked in the classic situation their health care to taking care of when they retire.
That's right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Highland. Next we have Gabby from Party for Socialism Liberation. Hello, hello, comrades and friends and supporters. I'll keep it brief, but I want to say this. We are here because we know that workers are powerful, and we commend the courage of the workers who stand up to employers, who tell them, no, we simply don't have the money to pay you the wages that you've earned. That try to justify making someone work 24 hours straight. We know there is no justification for exploitation. We know there is no justification for racist violence, for sexist violence. And what these workers are experiencing sits in the intersection of all of that. Because we exist under a system that tries to rob us of our power, that uses racism and sexism as justification for our exploitation, to keep us, the workers, divided from one another. But we know it's not worker versus worker. We know it's workers versus capitalists versus employers. We know it's not us versus each other. We know it's us versus the racists, the sexists, and anybody who tries to keep us oppressed and down. We have every right to reclaim our power. And that is what these workers are doing, and that is what we all must do. We stand in solidarity with these workers and every worker that is facing exploitation under this system. And as my comrade here said, we know what we must do. We must fight not just for an end to the 24-hour work days, for stolen wages, but an end to a system that allows for that to happen in the first place. So power to you. Power to us all, power to the people. Let's continue the fight. It doesn't end here. We'll be back every single day until we get what's rightfully ours. Thank you.
Last but not least, we have Laundry Worker Centers.
Hello, everybody. Hello. How we are very upset against CPC, right?
Yeah.
That's shame. We need to, our Congress has to suffer in that way. My name is Mauma Lopez from Laundry Worker Center. I'm with the Workers Assembly Against Racism. My nombre es Mauma López, soy del Centro de Trabajadores de Lavandería. Y estoy con la Asamblea de los Trabajadores en contra del racismo. Reprimimos cualquier tipo de violencia. Los trabajadores inmigrantes siempre somos víctimas de todo tipo de explotación. Estamos aquí para decir no más. No más. Las jornadas de 24 horas son explotación para favorecer a los empleadores y a las corporaciones. Y hoy estamos aquí en solidaridad porque todos unidos somos más fuertes. Debemos de estar unidos en contra del odio racial, la brutalidad policíaca, del robo de salario y de las tácticas antiunión. Condenamos a PCP por la explotación de nuestros camaradas. ¿Y qué queremos? Justicia. ¿Cuándo? We are against any type of violence against immigrant workers. The immigrant workers are always victims of all kinds of exploitation. We are here to say no more. 24 hours working. That's to favor the employers and the corporations. That's why we are here in solidarity, because we need to be all united. All united, we are stronger against racial hate, police brutality, against wage theft, and the anti-union tactics. We condemn PCP for the exploitation of our comrades. Thank you. So this May 1st is very special because that's the Day International of the Workers.
If you see the flyers, we have it listed here.
So this May 1st, we're going to be here in Canal Street and Baxter in support of the laundromat workers, because the laundromat workers are in the similar situation as the same conditions of the domestic workers. We are here in solidarity, and we hope see you May 1st here in Canal Street and Baxter. Thank you.
We're going to deliver the workers' letter signed by 54 home attendants to CPC.
CPC 快啲嚟同我哋所有嘅護理員道歉。第一個問題要停止24小時工作日，要賠償我哋所有嘅24小時欠我哋嘅欠薪，要立即停止24小時工作日。
So we're going to deliver a letter to CBC. Anyone from CBC, come out and take the letter.
What does the letter say?
So the letter is basically going to reiterate what Lai has been saying. First, stop the 24 hours immediately and pay back the stolen wages to all the workers and publicly apologize to the CBC home attendant.
Say you're sorry.
Stop the 24-hour workday! Pay back the workers! Can't even say apology to the workers?
Not even an apology? Crying poor?
CPC! Shame on you! 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 So CPC will want to stay there, stay quiet, counting their money instead of really apologizing to their workers. Such a shame! You're shame to the Chinese community! You're 24 hours, nowhere in the world has 24-hour workday but you! What are you doing to the exploitation? You can't even start saying apologizing to the workers? How shameful, CBC! 你道唔道歉啊？華策會，華策會，你如果道歉，你都唔講俾你啲工人知，你收唔收錢啊？
They know it's wrong. They just cry poor.
你知唔知醜啊？
They are
全世界啊，24小時工作日啊！你講咗你知醜啊！你面對啲工友，點解你唔道歉？
It's a shame. It's a shame.
點解你唔立即賠償工人？點解你唔立即停啲24小時工作日？你企喺度瞓咩牛度啊？
You know, we boycott him. Boycott the CPC. Ask who where not to give them money. That's what they care. They only care about money, nothing else.
So now that CPC wants to stand there quiet, we have 4 action items for all of you today. 1. Boycott CPC. Cut ties with CPC until they meet workers' demands. 3 demands.
Yeah.
Urge foundations, donors, organizations to withdraw funding from CPC because that money is going to support the sweatshop in the backyard. Action 2. Urge all elected officials to withdraw endorsement
of City Council candidate Jenny Low.
Yeah!
She's formerly CPC's Chair, Board of Directors, and President. 3. Endorse call to end 24-hour workday.
Yeah.
There's a bill to split the 24-hour care to 12-hour split shifts to protect the health of both home attendants and their patients. 4, as Mohammed mentioned earlier, we need to, as May Day approaches, we need to reunite and demand the 8-hour working day, the tradition of our labor movement. Let's unite to end the 24-hour workday! No more 24!
No more 24!
No more 24!
No more 24!
Boycott CPC!
Boycott CPC!
Boycott!
Boycott CPC!
Boycott!
CPC! Boycott CPC!